Very good morning, dear students. Welcome all of you to the today's session. And this session we are going to start discussion the new topic, that is the frequency distribution with unequal class interval. The frequency distribution with unequal class interval. We already know that class interval means the difference between upper class limit and lower class limit. Here, in a previous class, we have discussed about the frequency distribution with equal class interval. Here, what happens in the sense, when we have a equal class interval, then sometimes there is a chance of concentrating the values in a particular classes. Concentration means more number of values will be appear in the one particular or two particular classes only compared to other classes. That's why compared to an equal class interval of frequency distribution, sometimes in some cases the unequal class interval will be more suitable for the frequency distribution. In some cases or in some data, than the equal class interval, the unequal class interval distribution will be more suitable, because observe once, concept here class 50 to 60. Observe here class 50 to 60. There are 15 number of classes are appeared in a particular class. 15 number of values or observations are in the one particular class, and come to 60 to 70. More than 10 number of classes are there in the particular class. It means here we can see more than 50% of values or observations are concentrated in only these two classes, and remaining 25% of the values, it means 50% of the values are concentrated in this particular classes. This classes will concentrate only 50%. Only these two classes have a concentration of the values equals to a 50%. It means here with these two classes we can't able to present exactly the values of a data. See here the range, minimum range of this class value is 51. The maximum range of this class value is 59. But the overall values we will represent with the one class mark, that is 55. All these 15 values we will represent in a one value as a 55. Then it leads to some misanalysis or some misguidance. That's why instead of this more concentration of values in one particular class, when we have a unequal class interval, this helps to divert or this helps to deviate the values as per their norms. Okay, that's why compared to an equal class interval of frequency distribution, sometimes the unequal class interval will be more suitable, because it will helps to divert or deviate the values as per the norms. But here in the equal class interval, what happens? It will be see the more concentration of observations or values in some particular classes. That's why this class we are going to study about the frequency distribution of values with an unequal class interval. Got it? Here with the equal class interval, what happens? There will be a more concentration of values in one or two particular classes. Then it won't give a proper analysis in the further steps. That's why when this happens, in these cases, it is unequal class interval is more suitable. Then how to do unequal class interval means where in which particular class the values appears more number, the values or observations are going to appear more number, then that classes particularly we will be classified unequally. Here we have class interval as a Got it? Then the values, so 16 values are concentrated in one class. Then when we are going to divide this particular class into two classes, then the concentration of values will be decreased. Got it? Then in the same way, here 60 to 70, the class 60 to 70 is also having more number of observation in that particular class. Even that class also we will be going to divide into two classes, 60 to 70. It is also having more concentration on the values. Then this class we will be going to divide into 60 to 65 and 65 to 70. In this way, we can give up importance for the each and every value. Each and every value, and here we can reduce the loss of information also. That's why the frequency distribution with an unequal classes is more appropriate than the equal number of class interval. And now we are going to discuss how to do an unequal class interval for the proper frequency distribution. Come now. Here the first column is class and second column as usual observation, and third column is frequency, and fourth column class mark. Here we will take as it is these values, except this two we will take remaining classes as usual. Okay, as a class interval is a 10. Here we will take this up to here, we will take as usual class interval as a 10, and from here to there also we will take as usual class interval as a 10, and only in these two particular classes we will take class interval as a 5, because here we have a more concentration of the observations or values, and to deviate these values and to give the more each and every value, importance to the each and every value, we are going to have a unequal class interval for the giving more importance to each and every value which appears in these two particular classes. Got it now? Here 0 to 10 as usual we are going to take, and 10 to 20, 20 to 30, 30 to 40, and in the same way 40 to 50. But here 50 to 60 we are going to classify into, we are going to take class interval as a 5. Instead of 10 we are going to take class interval 5. It means 50 to 55 and 55 to 60. Got it? Up to here we have a 10 as a class interval, but in this class we are taking 5 as a class interval. This is what called unequal class interval, frequency distribution with unequal class interval. Got it? And again the class 60 to 70 also we are converting 10 class interval into a 5. 60 to 65, 65 to 70, and remaining classes as usually we are continuing with the 10 as a class interval. 80 to 90 and 90 to 100. Got it now? And now as for the class limits, we are going to rearranging the observations. As for the class interval, again we are going to rearranging the observation as for this particular classes, because now the class intervals are got changed, right? That's why. Now come to first class interval. We have a 1 value in that particular class, that is 1. Your frequency is 1, class mark is 0. Between 0 and 10, the class mark is 5. You know, right? To find out the class mark, the formula is upper class limit plus lower formula we will apply here also. Got it? And next 10 to 20. 10 to 20 we have 4 number of observations are values. That is 10, 70, 40, 40, and frequencies are 4. Class mark is as usual 15. Then come to 20 to 30. Here 20 to 30 there are 2 values. One is 20 and another one is 25. We will write what are the observations are appeared in that class. That is nothing but frequency. Here we will write frequency as a 2 and class mark or midpoint is 25. Next come to 30 to 40. Here between 30 to 40 the observations are 3. One is 30, next one 37 and 34. Got it? And we will write 3 as a frequency and class mark between 30 to 40 is 35. And come to next 40 to 50. Here between 40 to 50 the values are or the observations are 6. One is 47, 45, 49, again 49, 48 and 41. There are 6 frequencies and class mark between 40 to 50 means the exact center value of this 2 is 45. Next come to one more. Here you should be alert. We are divided the class 50 to 60 into 2 classes. One is 50 to 55. Here the value starts from 50 and below 55. 50 to 55. Got it? Here whatever values are there in 50 to 60, in that values or in that observations we have to pick only the value range between 50 above and 55 below. 50 and 50 above and 55 below. Got it now? Here we will take 51. 51. Next 51 again. Here 56 will come to the next class. Here 51. Again 50. 50. And 51. 54 will comes to the particular class. Got it? Then here from 50 to 55 there are 6 observations. Then under the frequency we will write as a 6 and class mark we need to find out. 50 to 55 the class limit is here the class is 50 to 55, then the class mark will comes as a 52.5. If you want you can apply to a formula also. Example, class mark is equal to upper class limit plus lower class limit by 2. Your upper class limit here we have taken 55 plus 50 divided by 2. 55 plus 50 we will get 105 by 2. 105 by 2 we will get the answer equals to 52.5. Right now in this way the class mark of 50 to 55 is 52.5. 52.5. Understood? And in the same way 55 to 60. Here in this particular class would be above 55 and below 60. The values are 56, 56, 56, 55, then 59, then again 59, then 56, 55, 55, 56. what? See, observe now. Instead of making all this observation in one particular class, and we will show with the one value, that is 55 as a class mark even for the statistical analysis. Now, the entire values we have deviated into two classes, and there will be a separate class mark to represent these values. Then each value will get the more concentration, or it means more value in the further calculations in the statistics. That's why some cases the equal class interval than the equal class interval, the unequal class intervals play a very important role to give on more importance to each value for the future representation. Here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Here 9 labs frequencies we have got it, and the class mark or class midpoint is 57.5. If you want, you can apply to a formula. So 57.5. Then next come to a 60 to 65. Same class we have divided into two classes, and here we are taking 5 as a class interval. Here come to your 60. The observation 60, again 60, 62, it is 62, 62, 64. 64, 62. Now the values which comes between 60 to 65, we have taken here. We have written here, and there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 observations, and frequency is also 6. Then class mark of this class is 60 to 65. The class mark of this class is 62.5. Then next 65 to 70. Here between 65 to 70, 66, 66, 69, 65, 66, 66, 69, 65. There are 4 observations, and here we will write 4, and the class mark between 65 to 70 is 67.5. 67.5. Got it? Maybe you have understood now. To represent 62, maximum 64, the value we have taken 62.5, and to represent between 65 to 70, we have taken 67.5. It gives more appropriate compared to an equal class interval. The values will give us more appropriate results, or the data will be more reliable when we have this kind of unequal class intervals, because we will give more importance to each value in a future representations. Got it? Come to next 70 to 80. Here we have only 2 values. Maybe it is more appropriate. No need to bifurcate again. 75, 72. There are 2 class intervals, and class mark is 75. Here 80 to 90. In between 80 to 90, there are 3 observations. One is 89, 85, 84. Then frequency of this class is 3, and class mark of this class is 85. Then come to the last class, that is between 90 to 100. There are 4 number of observations. One is 100, 90, 2, 96, and 90. We will write frequency as a 4 and class mark as a 95. Got it now? See the difference between these two frequency distribution. Here frequency distribution with equal number of classes, and here the frequency distribution with unequal number of class interval. Here we have class interval, we have 2, the range 50, we have 10 as a class interval, from 50 to 70, 5 as a class interval, and from 70 to 100 again 10 as a class interval. That's why we will call it as a unequal class interval. What is the frequency distribution with unequal class interval? Because it is more appropriate or more clear than the equal class interval frequency distribution, because it gives the importance to each and every value or observation of the data which the investigator is collected, and it is also it will give very exact truth or exact calculation in future statistical analysis also. This is what the importance of unequal class interval. Next we move to the one more important topic of the chapter, that is next most important topic is frequency array. Here frequency array refers to frequency distribution of discrete variable. Frequency array refers to frequency distribution of discrete variable is nothing but frequency array. Already we have discussed about the variables, right? Variables means the factors which will be keep on changing from time to time. In that there are two types of variables. One is continuous variable and second one is discrete variable. Till now we have discussed the frequency distribution of continuous variable. Now when we are going to discuss or when we are going to do the frequency distribution of discrete variable, that can be called as a frequency array. Here discrete variable means the values, we are only taking a certain values, and the values of discrete variable will be jumped from one to another value. It won't consider the integrals and fractions and all. Here discrete variables means we are only take a certain values, and the values will be jumped from one to another. And when we are going to distribute the frequency relating to a discrete variable, that frequency distribution will be called as a frequency array. For example, for the discrete variable is number of persons in a family, number of children in a schools, and number of students in the classroom. Likewise, we have a certain example in that discrete variable. We will when we are going to distribute the discrete variable, then that will be called as a frequency array. They will ask for 1 mark or 2 mark. What do you mean by frequency array? Frequency array refers to frequency distribution of discrete variable. If you want, we can give us the examples. And next most important topic is univariate and bivariate frequency distribution. Most important topic it is univariate and bivariate distribution. The word itself is indicating univariate. It means the frequency distribution of single variable is nothing but univariate frequency distribution. Here by refers to 2. By means 2. The frequency distribution of any two variables is nothing but bivariate frequency distribution. Are you got it? Univariate means the frequency distribution of any one particular single variable. We are consider only one single variable frequency distribution. That can be called as univariate. For example, in the previous sessions we have discussed the marks of students. The marks of students in the particular class. Here, there we are considered only the one particular variable, that is marks. Yes, and or else the income of a persons. The variable is only one, income, right? Likewise, any one particular variable we are going to discuss in the frequency distribution, that can be called as a univariate frequency distribution. Are you got it? Yeah. Try take a meaning of univariate frequency distribution. Univariate frequency distribution refers to frequency distribution of a single variable is nothing but univariate frequency distribution. If you want, you can give example: marks of the student, marks of students, or one more, income of a persons, income of a person, or we can take also family, income of a families. Likewise, if any one particular variable frequency distribution, if we are going to do it, then that kind of frequency distribution will be called as a univariate, because your word only indicating. Keep in your mind, uni means one, variate means variables. When we are going to distribute the one variable frequencies, that is called as univariate frequency distribution. Got it right? Then one more, bivariate frequency distribution. Here, bivariate frequency distribution refers to frequency distribution of any two variables. That is called as bivariate. Got it? Your bivariate frequency. This is univariate, this is bivariate. Bivariate frequency distribution refers to frequency distribution of two variables at a time. Frequency distribution of two variables at a time, if you are going to distribute, that can be considered as a bivariate frequency distribution. If you want, we can discuss one example also. Example, at a time, if we are going to discuss the production and sale of potato in India. Production and sale of potatoes in India. There we have two variables, right? production as well as sales. Production is will also keep on changing from time to time. Even sales will also be keep on changing from time to time. There we are taking at a time the two variables. Got it? In that way, when we are going to distribute the frequencies of two variables, that can be called as bivariate frequency distribution. Take example, production and sale of potatoes in India, or else income and expenditure of a families. Income is one variable and expenditure is another variable. At a time in a particular data, if we are going to discuss both income of a family as well as the expenditure of a family, that is also called as bivariate frequency distribution. Income and expenditure of family What if this is what? Univariate and bivariate frequency distribution. This is maybe as for 4-mark also. Differentiate between univariate and bivariate frequency distribution. Are 2 marks they will ask what is univariate distribution and what is bivariate frequency distribution. Even 1 mark also they will ask the meanings. That's why keep in your mind. Once again I will repeat. Univariate frequency distribution means the frequency distribution of a single variable. Frequency distribution of a single variable. And next, bivariate frequency distribution is nothing but, or it refers to frequency distribution of a two variables. Frequency distribution of a two variables at a time. Got it? This is what univariate and bivariate frequency distribution. Yeah. This is what the content of the chapter 3, organization of data. This class we are going to end with this chapter. Make a note the important content of this chapter. We have discussed mainly what is raw data and also classification of data. In the classification of data we have discussed with the example there are 4 types. One is chronological classification, spatial classification, qualitative classification and quantitative classification of data. After that we have already discussed what is frequency distribution and the frequency distribution with tally marking. This is also most important topic. Maybe they will give some data and they will ask do a frequency distribution of this particular data. Likewise they will ask for 4-mark question in that particular concept. And also we have discussed the frequency distribution with unequal class intervals. And also the meaning of frequency array and also the concept relating to univariate and bivariate frequency distribution. This is more important chapter and make a note of all these concepts and get well prepared. Okay, then next class onwards we are going to move to the next chapter, that is chapter 4, presentation of data. Okay, thank you everyone.